A former India captain, coach and recently named for the C.K. Naidu Award by the BCCI, Tamil Nadu's very own Sudha Shah has been in the thick of action of Indian women's cricket. In conversation with Turf Talk on TrinityMirror.tv, Sudha speaks about Indian women's cricket. Hi Sudha.
Hi.
Welcome to Turf Talk on TrinityMirror.tv, and at the outset, congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thanks a lot.
Sudha, you have been one of the pioneers of Indian women's cricket and started playing at a very young age. So can you please describe the journey of Indian women's cricket?
When we started cricket, it was something very new. And for people, it was a novelty, to see how girls can play cricket. We were still in school and we had to get permission from our principal, and they really didn't want us to play cricket because they kept saying cricket was a man's game, and then for women, you'll get dark, you'll get tanned, and then nobody will get married to you, and all those sort of things. And even many of the parents were apprehensive as to how whether when you're playing you'll get hurt, so they wouldn't let their daughters play, and we had to sort of go to 2-3 houses, convince the parents that everything's okay and they can play. And when we started playing cricket, we'd play on corporation grounds, matting wicket, we'd stay in dormitories. But I think that went a lot into team bonding. We did a lot of that. But now, I guess, we did play a lot of games, we did have a lot of matches, but I think after the BCCI took over, the girls are exposed to better ground, better facilities, they stay in better hotels, they travel well. I think that way things have improved in women's cricket.
Okay. The Indian women cricketers, they entered the final of the World Cup in England, and it was quite a heartbreaking loss they had. They almost won and lost the match. And they beat Australia, they beat New Zealand, they also beat England in the earlier stages, but in the final somewhere they lost this thing. And you were also coach of the team which in 2005 reached the final. So what is your throwback on India's performance 2005 and 2017? How do you can compare those two?
Actually in 2005, if you see, we started working towards the World Cup in 2003. That's when I took over as coach after a gap, and I was very particular about the fitness. So that's when we introduced we had a trainer, we had a physio and all that with the team, and the girls really worked on their fitness, and it improved their game, their skills and their game a lot at that time. And we had a lot of camps, we played a lot of international matches, and by the time we worked with just a group of 15-20 players, and that same group went on to, the 15 players went on to play the World Cup. I think we concentrated on the core, and I mean at that time, the publicity this finals got, we didn't get at all. And I think at that time the men were playing somewhere. I don't remember when, and they lost the day before our finals. And the morning of the finals, I got a call from NDTV asking me what was my take on the thing. And I said, where were you all these days? Because I don't think anybody in India knew that we were playing the World Cup finals that we were playing the World Cup itself.
Yeah.
And we'd enter the finals. I don't think anybody in India knew about it. While this World Cup, I mean, I think the publicity that the girls got, it was really good that the matches were televised. And I think a lot of people are talking about women's cricket, and they're talking about a few players' names, and they all know what was happening. And I think the World Cup finals was watched by a lot of people.
In terms of the game, what is the difference do you see as a coach then and now? As cricketers, and how has it changed?
Skills, I guess, when you're getting better facilities, your game does improve like that. We really didn't get, I'm saying, when we were playing in college, we had a college team there, and the PD would give us 2 or 3 balls, and I used to take it to the cobbler and get it stitched so that we can use it for fielding at least. I mean, even to get our kit and everything, it was a big effort for us, and we really couldn't afford it. While now, like, okay, towards the end of my career, I was sponsored by SG, and that was a different thing. But at the beginning, it was difficult. While now, all the girls, you know, they get their sponsors, they get the facilities, everything's there for them. And I guess now this bunch, especially the youngsters, are playing very fearless cricket, and they're making it more very aggressive. And I think that's what's making the game more exciting now.
And even then, when compared to Australia, New Zealand or England, these three teams, the women there, they seem to be much more fitter, stronger and more athletic than compared to...
Yeah, but finally it is the results that, play. Like, I mean, even I know when we played, we found the Aussies and all really huge and fit and, very, I mean, physically they were a lot stronger than us, but where technique was concerned, I think we were as good. And I guess we were losing out on the physical fitness part of it. Those days we never used to work out, and we never used to do any of the weights or anything. I mean, it was just you go around a little, you just limber up, swing your arms around, and that was your warming up before the game. Now it's a lot more. And I think the girls are getting a lot stronger. When we used to play, it was like, don't hit the ball in the air, drive along the ground. So there were hardly any sixes at that time, but now, I mean, even in a regular ground, the girls are getting to hit sixes. They're getting more powerful.
Yeah. Now, after the fine performance in the World Cup, again there's a huge gap. After July, they again played only in March now. So this kind of a gap, unlike men cricketers, where now we're talking of an overdose of cricket for men. So how do you think this is going to really affect women's cricket in not only in India, I think generally everywhere else also?
Yeah, but now like we have the ICC Women's Championship where each country plays the other. So we are getting to play a lot of international matches. So it's like this year you play, say, Australia at home, the next year you're going to Australia and playing. So we're getting 4 countries coming over, and we go out to 4 countries to play. So that way I think the girls are getting a lot of chance. Yes, there was a gap between the World Cup and the first international they played, but I guess the girls did have a little break, because before that they had a lot of matches. So I guess now they're coming out fresh, and then they had their domestic season, and I guess it should be okay now.
Okay, you've already briefly spoken about the changes in terms of facilities and things like that. What would you think is the main big change that today's women cricketers they get, apart from now? I think there's more acceptance also for girls and women playing cricket.
I think they're playing on better grounds, and the wickets that they're playing on are a lot better. And I guess their stay, everything is taken care of. So they don't have to really like, when we were playing, the day we lose our match, the tournament, the next day we had to get back home and we had to do our bookings ourselves. So it's like, finish the matches and then you rush to the station, do your booking. And even before you go for the tournament, you're at the reservation counter doing the booking. Now all that's taken care of for the girls. So they have to just concentrate on the game. And I think that makes a big difference.
In terms of support staff, like today when say men's cricket, it's not just the coach. He has a whole kind of a team. There's a physio, there's a batting coach, there's a fielding coach, and all that. But for women's cricket, do you get that kind of this thing now? Or
even now, like right now, the women's the team has even a masseur. They have a video analyst, they have a physio, they have a trainer. They do have. We used to just travel with either a manager. Mostly it used to be a manager, and then later on a coach used to come. But most of the time it was just a manager that would travel with the team.
And the manager could have been a mother or somebody sometimes, right?
Generally it was one of them, one of the players' mother who accompanies the team. It was more like that.
That's not only women's cricket, other sports also. Like we have seen that in chess and other sports also. Like one of the mothers would, or the parent would be the manager of the team rather than have a... Okay. Riding on this India's excellent performance in the World Cup, how do we build interest among younger players in India, women players to take up the game?
Yeah, I guess with this, the televising of these games, I think the awareness has increased a lot. And we are fine. Like, sometimes when you go by, you see girls also playing on the streets. I think that's a nice thing. I mean, yeah, we used to play in our colony, we used to play on the streets, but you really don't find much of that nowadays. But, there are times, when you go by, you find, like, say, even if you go to the beach or, where they're playing cricket, there are some girls playing cricket. And, like, say, in Tamil Nadu, we are getting a lot more girls from the districts coming in and playing. I think the awareness is there now, and I feel the World Cup made a big difference to girls coming into play.
Yeah, like in men's cricket too, now we have these players coming from you have a player from Jammu and Kashmir. So similarly, how is it going to happen in women's cricket? Are you going to broad base and go deeper into
It does. I mean,
rural areas?
we do have players coming from the smaller places like Harmanpreet Kaur. She comes from a small village called Moga in Punjab.
Okay.
I mean, she didn't even know that, women played cricket, and she used to go play with the boys. And her coach was the one who, told her like this, you can think. We do have players coming from the smaller areas. Like, I mean, even in the Tamil Nadu team now, we have quite a few district players. Maharashtra has quite a few district players. There are quite a few district players coming into play cricket.
Even Rajeshwari Gaikwad, she comes from a small
Rajeshwari
town in
Gaikwad,
Karnataka,
yeah,
very close to my
even
hometown.
Veda was not from Bangalore. I think she was from Chikmagalur or something.
Ah, okay.
Huh?
Maybe I'm not. Yeah.
Veda, yeah, she moved into Bangalore to get her cricket, improve her skills.
Okay. Now, if there is one thing that you think needs to be done to make one particular thing, to make women's cricket or girls cricket more popular, what do you think that should be done?
I feel cricket should be made compulsory in schools. What happens is the lifespan of a woman cricketer is not really, really long. Like when they start playing from school, I think they can peak when they're around, say, 16, 18, and they have a longer career span. I mean, there are times when, the girls had to get married or, their careers and, that sort of a thing. And I feel if they start playing from schools, the exposure will be a lot better and they'll have a longer tenure in the game. It should be made compulsory in schools, I feel.
So, you have been a coach of the Indian cricket team as well for a very long time. So, can you just talk about your experiences and what are your thoughts for the future coaches for Indian women cricketers?
Actually, when I became the coach of the Indian team, there were very few women at that time willing to coach. And for me, once I stopped playing cricket, I wanted to contribute to the game. And I know I won't make a good administrator. So I said the best thing was coaching. And even while I was playing, during my playing days, even I used to sort of, try and correct the players. I used to sort of do a little bit of coaching with the permission of our coach. I used to do that. I was always keen on it. And I guess, that was like something in me to coach. I really wish like that, more girls come up. Now there are quite a few with the level 1s and level A and B and all. There are quite a few women attending those courses. Like now there's one from the Northeast, even from Manipur, who's a level 2 coach. But I guess the opportunities are, I guess once you coach, like you want to go up and your ultimate aim is to coach the Indian team. But that kind of an exposure, if it's there, I think you get more girls to coach. Otherwise, it is like, okay, you're either coaching your state side and that's it. Or maybe you're going for your ZCA and CA camps. I think they should be allowed to go up the ladder.
But for you, as you said, being a coach, you're a mentor even as a player, and it was a kind of a natural instinct. But today, they think coaches should have a kind of a specific, like you said, level A or level 1, level 2 training. So, do you have such facilities in India, or is it necessary for them to go abroad and get?
No, we have the National Cricket Academy conducts these level 1s, and when I did both, all the three, my level 1, 2 and 3, I was the only female attending those courses. Now they're having specifically for women. They have a level A, or they have those courses. The National Cricket Academy conducts these courses for the girls.
But because generally, even in men's cricket, like I remember Roger Binney went to Australia to get his.
Earlier, yes, but now once the National Cricket Academy started in India, they started conducting these courses. So now there are a lot. They conduct courses for coaches and for trainers, for physios. They do for scorers. They do conduct courses.
But this is again based out of Bangalore, or do they spread to others?
They do spread, like maybe they'd go to say one place in the south and have all the players, people from the south coming. They'll have a center, say they'll have a center in Chennai, and everybody coming and attending the course there, and they have something in the north, in the west, in the east. But they do have for the umpires, for trainers, I think any sort of place you look into, you can get trained.
Right. And this is another thing, a point of debate even among men's cricket, not only cricket, other sports also, that is role of foreign coaches. So do you think for Indian women's cricket to shape up, and especially after how well they have done, will the role of a foreign coach really help Indian women cricket? Always we are just talking about athletics today, where Indian athletes reach a certain point, that final jump to that highest level, they somehow seem to slip somewhere. So
I don't know whether it's a difference between a foreign coach or an Indian coach. I think now the exposure and the training methods for the coaches even has improved in India also. It doesn't, I feel we've got good enough coaches here in India. Okay, when I was coaching, we won most of our games. It wasn't that, it was like I'm an Indian and there wasn't if there was a foreign coach, maybe I would have died. I'll still do better than a foreign coach. So it doesn't matter whether it's foreign. And I somehow feel like our culture, I think we understand our culture. It's very difficult for a foreigner to come and understand our basic culture, and it can be different, and their way of teaching and our way of teaching, I think there is a difference.
And the language also can be a barrier, right?
Oh yeah, it can be a
especially when you have players coming from districts.
The accent itself is, quite, like even for me when I was coaching, like I'm not that fluent at least I wasn't that fluent in Hindi at that time. And when I was with the Indian team, I had to converse with a few of them in Hindi. And I did struggle, but then I made it a point to speak to them in Hindi so that they'll be comfortable. And once I got to their comfort level, then I started telling them, I said, now you all speak to me in English, I'll speak to you all in Hindi. That way both of us will learn both Hindi and English. And that's how we used to have conversations like.
Okay. But today, cricket in general, even men, has changed a lot. Like Test cricket seems to be, in terms of spectator interest at the stadium. Forget the television. When there's a test match playing, when they show empty stands, it's pretty disheartening. Because I also come from the old school of thought where we would like to go and see the matches. But the shorter forms, the ODIs and T20s are sort of taking over. But do you think the shortened versions of the game would be the way forward for women's cricket too?
Actually, the test matches we've played, we've won quite a few test matches. We've beaten England twice, we've beaten South Africa. We have been playing good cricket, test matches also. Even though we don't play the longer version of cricket here in our domestic structure, we don't have the longer version. It's all, like now they've introduced the 2-day and 3-day games, but earlier it was just the 50-over games that we used to play. And still the girls did adapt to the 4-day game that we play. And I feel your technique, if you're good in your batting and your bowling, I think whether you play a 2-day game or a 3-day game or a T20 game, your technique's good, I think it won't make much of a difference.
So in terms of making the game popular, that's my point of
view. As you said that people really don't have that time to sit and watch the game for so many days. And maybe T20s, and T20 is okay, but I somehow prefer the 50-over games. I think that's T20 is like a little too short. for the spectators it may be good, but I think from a player's perspective, I think 50 overs is good enough.
And again, comparing between men's and women's cricket in India, we see there's some kind of a structure in men's cricket, even from our days. There were school teams, club teams, and then we have the bigger, the Ranji Trophy, the Lip Trophy. And as you rightly said, there's no such structure. Do you think introducing of that kinds of structures, especially starting with cities, where you can get more players, would help
Oh yeah, it
improve?
does. I think a lot of quite a few players have come up playing from inter-schools. Even here in Chennai, for a long time we used to have inter-school matches, and then sort of it had petered off. And there were lots of players coming in from the inter-school matches, and quite a few, like in Bombay, quite a few places they do have inter-schools. They have inter-districts. Where the girls, I feel, from the grassroots, that's where we have to really, pay more attention to get the girls to be playing higher cricket.
Now, we have this, like in sports like tennis, badminton, we have the mixed doubles event and things like that. So, in order to get more women into cricket and girls into cricket, do you think it will be a good idea to have some of the top girls playing in some of the clubs? I'm sure some of your national cricketers, women cricketers, will be much better than some of the club level cricketers.
Yeah, I mean, actually, even I played the Blue Star League here in Chennai. I played with boys or with men, and two of us played from Tamil Nadu. We played in the Blue Star League. The Tamil Nadu League said that like the women couldn't take part in that the league at that time.
Okay.
I guess things are changing now, and hopefully we'll see some girls playing for at least the lower division, the club sides. They can play it. It'll be good. I mean, for the girls, even the exposure. I think it'll be good if they start playing like that.
And do you think any IPL kind of an event, maybe if not such long duration, even a shorter duration, see IPL goes on for almost 2 months. So women's cricket, suppose you have something like 4-week tournament with 6 teams. You
Yeah,
think that's
it will do good. Like, I mean, even now if you see the men cricketers, I think IPL has been such a great exposure for them when they're playing international cricket. Once they get to that level, I mean, it's like they're not even feeling out of place. It's like they belong there. And I feel it's thanks to the IPL because they're playing against all the top international players. So when they play for India in the international games, it's not much of a difference because their exposure is there. I think that's made a big difference to quite a few of our players, like, who've come up the ranks through IPL. It does make a big difference because you are playing alongside great international players. And when you're sharing a dressing room with them and the dugout with them, it makes a big difference. You're learning so much more. I think the exposure is a lot more.
Yeah, so you're talking about how the IPL has really helped the players. Like we have these spinners, Chahal, Kuldeep Yadav, and also Bumrah who have just come to the IPL ranks. So similarly, in women's cricket, you think something like that would really be of use to, unearth more talent?
Oh yeah, I think that's what I said. As I said, the exposure there, and when you're playing with international players and when you're sharing the dressing room with international players, then when you're facing them, when you're playing, I think it's a lot easier. And I think they're ready to play international matches thanks to IPL because the jump from domestic to international is a lot. But IPL has sort of really shortened that gap because they are playing like take Lasith Malinga. When he came, everybody was finding it so difficult to, the way his action came and all that. They were finding it very difficult to read. But I think with IPL, the boys did get used to playing with him, and all the other medium pacers and all. I think it's making a lot of difference to our Indian cricket. Our fielding's improving, and even the batting and the bowling. I think it's big difference. It'll be the same with women's cricket. I think it'll be a big difference to if they played the IPL.
In general, especially in our generation, even I had this thing at home that they thought if you're sports, you're useless and you're not going to come up in life. That was the perception. So now there is some awareness, but what needs to be really done to make children, youth and parents realize that sports can also be a
Also,
career
true.
or a professional option?
True. I mean, yeah, I mean, when we were playing, even it was like, oh, you're wasting your time. And I remember even when I was in college, my HOD was like, oh, this girl will fail. And, she's always out playing cricket and what will happen to her future. I mean, openly they used to come out with it. But if you see, I mean, okay, as a player, yes, you can turn professional, you can, but now there are chances you can do a scorer's job, you can do the physios. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities which I think the parents should start getting aware, because now I know, yes, there are like you should see in our Tamil Nadu under 16 side, there are 6-year-old and 8-year-olds coming for selections, and they come with their parents, and their parents are like, they should be playing higher cricket, and for them to be getting their small daughters to play, I mean, it's so nice to see. When we have our under 16 selection, there are 100 players coming for selections, and they're all, that 8 to 11 and that age group. And I mean, it's nice to see that the parents themselves are getting them to, play. But even with the girls, like earlier it was okay, you're out playing cricket, you miss out on your studies, and then, I mean, what next? So it was always that the parents were very particular that, especially from Tamil Nadu, I think the parents here are very particular that the girls at least finish their graduation. In the other states, there are girls who just don't go to school because of cricket. But here we are very particular about our studies and about our career. And now with cricket, I feel you can make a career out of cricket also, which I think the awareness should be spread more. I think many of them just don't know that, okay, apart from playing cricket, you can continue, either video analysis. There are lots of avenues now where you can make a career out of it, which I think the awareness should be done. It should be made aware of it.
And the other important thing, I think it's not only women's cricket, other sports too, the role of media. We find media focusing so much on men's cricket
Oh,
and
yeah.
they make heroes out of them. So how
Don't
do
we know it?
so how do we know what should be done to really?
No, I should be asking you that question, not you asking me. I mean, it's all in your hands, not in mine. It's not that, I'm telling you this thing about this 2005 World Cup. I mean, I just don't remember. I don't know whether India was in England at that time, and what they were playing in 2005, I'm not too sure. There was nobody covering our matches, and I think the team lost, and the finals, there were quite a few who had come there.
Okay.
And that really hurt us. I mean, even when I got a call from NDTV on the morning of the finals, I was like, where were you all these days? It was all like men's cricket. I mean, it's not that I'm comparing to, we're playing the same game.
Yeah.
And there's no comparison at all. But I think the media plays a big role in popularizing the game.
Like at least then women's cricket was not under the ICC BCCI fold, but now it's under the BCIC. So I think these parent organizations should also do something more, bringing the media into the.
It should. I mean, I think the media themselves are like, who isn't crazy after men's cricket in India? I think everybody is. But I think the media can play a big role in getting even women's cricket. Like, take even this World Cup in 2017. It was thanks to the TV coverage that people did get to know about. If we didn't have any TV coverage, nobody would have known. So when you have this coverage, and then even in the papers, I mean, there are times when, I mean, the media will, report on who, like, I'm talking about men's cricket, what he was wearing on, what he did, what he went, everything. With us, even our matches, there'll be just a little write-up about it, I mean, that I think the attitude from the media should change.
And finally, Sudha, thanks for spending so much time. But one last question.
Yeah.
What would be your message for young girls wanting to play cricket and represent India?
I'd say, I mean, you work hard. With cricket, you can make a career out of it, which earlier we couldn't. And I think with a lot of dedication and hard work, anybody can play for India.
Right, thank you very much. And once again, congratulations on winning the Lifetime
Thanks,
Achievement
and it's
Award.
a great pleasure being here with you. Thank you.
Thank you.